Hello, my name is Shadley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as a Hedjaz. In previous episode, we were suddenly switched to the French market, and well, it seems like we're making money, but yeah, there we go. So we're not actually making money, so we may need to do a few things. First of all, I think what we might have to do is switch some of them. Actually, do we want to do all of them? How many construction sectors do we have again? Right over here, of course. We got 3, so we don't really want to change all of them back to the old version. But for example, the one over here, because it's a bit less access to the market anyway, so we can switch that. And then, of course, we could. I think there was a few more things. Pot stills, no. Textile, well, no. The mechanized loom is probably not that much needed. At the same time, I suppose we could just use that. That's going to free up a little bit more workforce at least. Oh, right, shipyards, that's one of the things. So, over here, since on the French market, there's a lot of man of wars, and quite a bit of clippers, but the clippers make a little bit more money, actually. So, we're just going to switch at least one of these. I think we'll keep this shipyard producing man of wars still, but at least that's going to save us a few bits in there. And then, I do wonder if there's anything else that we want to switch. There's some arms industries, which were... Oh, right, we can start switching to rifles and then maybe smoothbores. Sure. Let's do that. We've got quite a bit of authority as well, so we could, in theory, just go ahead and put in some taxes. So grocery tax would be actually quite a bit of money. But if that... It would be quite a bit of money, but I'm just going to take the sort of more luxury item taxes instead, for the time being at least. So with those, we should be roughly turning... profit, not necessarily massive profits, but at least doing something. And then I suppose let's have a look at the. So yeah, now we are making money, so that's actually really good news for us. I think there may have been a few other things that I forgot to do though. No, I think we got pretty much everything sorted. So we are currently working on the railway in Gondar, which will hopefully be done soon, and then that's gonna allow us to get not necessarily quite fully. Or full market access in here, but we can probably at least make it notably better, somewhere around 90 to 95% probably. So that's already a good step forward. We've reduced the construction speed there a little bit. We do have okay amount of troops. We are already building another barracks over here in Somaliland to get to full 5 there. If we have a look at the market prices a little bit, so dyes are really high price. I do wonder if there's anyone that I could import that from for good productivity. Ooh, Benin, Ecuador. Start with... Ooh, Dutch East Indies is a lot that we could import. Sure, let's do that one. We should be getting a pretty good revenue from there. Although, I suppose, it does reduce the revenue on our own dye plantations, which we got quite a few, admittedly. But I don't think that's going to be the end of the world. But now we're at least making a bit of profit, and thus not losing quite as much money. We're currently trying to pass the dedicated police force, but I'm not entirely sure if we'll actually manage to do that. Plus, I believe we are going to have an election next year, yes. June next year, so we've got about 15 months. Or some, well, actually a little bit more, but around there, about anyway. We're currently researching the central banking, but what I might actually do... There's a distillation there that would allow us to get a lot more stuff there. So central banking, to be fair, that would reduce the loan interest rates a lot. That wouldn't be too bad, so that's kind of why we started researching that. But we're currently getting the psychiatry, which does reduce the bureaucracy population cost modifier and increase the influence. Oh, Russia is in... Oh, hold on a minute. Did we? No, we're in the French market still. Okay, so the Russians are... So, here's the thing. I actually recorded this episode once already, but there was a lot of background noise going on, so I had to sort of trap that recording. But we'll start improving... Oh, right, so we are now at almost 25% with the dedicated police force. I could actually do a war against Ethiopia by now. We don't have a lot of infamy. Suppose we'll just wait until we are below 2.5 points. So once we do declare for the war, it's not going to go above the 25 points. Because that shouldn't take all that long. It's a couple more months. And there's one little trick that I by accident discovered. I don't know if it's a bit of an exploit or bug or something, but like if I call in Egypt, since I'm a puppet, well, tributary, if I call in Egypt into the war, then the truce will not be between me and Ethiopia, but rather Egypt and Ethiopia. And I'll still get the state, most likely. Right, opium, there's a fair bit of shortage in here. Let's have a look if we could import some opiums from somewhere. Burma, well, actually Sind would be a much better profitability, so let's start with that one. We're using a decent bit of bureaucracy to do all of this, but that's fine, we will be getting some more soon. Right, so now we are under 2.5 in here, so if we were to do a war against Ethiopia, I don't think we're going to put both states at this stage. They do have 50 battalions. I think my battalion's a lot better, but what we're going to do is we're going to just go for Oromia, and then what we're going to do is we are just going to call Egypt in. We'll give them the obligation. Unfortunately, that means that we might not be able to get independence anytime soon, but the faster we get Ethiopia, the better it is for us. Egypt sides with Egypt, okay, sure. Alright, I should mobilize at least one of these armies. So they should be rather fearful, yes, they are very fearful. So I don't suspect that they will be around for, or they will probably give the state for me. And that's the capital state with a lot of manufacturing in there, which actually, that's going to be really decent stuff for us. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on our taxes, but I believe it's going to be enough bureaucracy to at least start integrating Gondar, or incorporating Gondar, so that's going to be good. But at the same time, it's going to increase radicals a lot, so that's less good. But we'll see how it goes. They haven't given up yet. Oddly enough. I mean, they do have a decent bit of army, but they should be a much... Oh, there we go. Now they're back down. Oh, and we lost some authorities there. Alright, so let's have a look at the things here. So that seems fine. Government administration... Oh, right. Filing cabinets. I forgot to do that. Okay. That's something that I could have done already. Let's put all of these to that. Arts Academy is going to be realistic. So I'm guessing we're going to need a lot more paper. Luckily, we can do that. Glassworks, we're going to go for the crystal glass and bone china. Furniture, go for the max stuff there. Textile, we're going to go for the sewing machines, and there is silk in the market, so we can use that as well. Mechanized looms, do we need to do that? I suppose it does reduce the worker use a little bit. And then canneries. There we go. That, oh, right, what do they have here? They got a lot of, oh, right, logging cabins is another thing that we should probably do a few changes into. And then the farms. And after that, the livestock farm. I suppose, actually, yeah, we'll get the intensive grazing. We could probably go even for the slaughterhouses already. Let's actually have a look if we could probably do that for every ranch, quite frankly, at this stage. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of, at least, potential income there. So they've got 4 construction offices here. I think, well, it's only using the wooden buildings, so I'm going to reduce the size of this at least by 2 levels. So it's not going to be quite as bad expenditure. We're still losing quite a bit of money, admittedly, but we've now got a lot of bureaucracy, which... Let's go ahead and start incorporating probably both of these states, actually. That leaves us with a decent bit of bureaucracy still to... well, to spare, so we could do a bit more trading. Let's have a look at what are the other things that we need in the market. A little bit of tobacco. Engines. Of course, fine art, but fine art... I don't think there's going to be a lot for that on sale. So that's going to be the problem. We've bought a lot of dyes already. Although, I suppose another thing that we could do is start selling some of the things, like the fruits we could maybe sell to Jing, maybe? Maybe it's not really all that much, but sure, it's better than nothing. Although, actually, it does take a bit of bureaucracy and all that. Porcelain is another thing that we could maybe... Well, actually, no. We've got a lot of glassworks ourselves, so I'm not going to switch the import price there. I think one of the things that we do need to build in here, though, is railway. Oh, and that reminds me of another thing. The railway over here, we've got the infrastructure levels already in Somaliland, so we can just reduce the infrastructure there a little bit, get a bit more transportation going, and that will then, of course, mean that the transportation... I mean, the transportation price isn't actually all that bad. Just to be... Yeah, we're still in the French market. So previously there was, or in the previous attempt of this episode, at some point in the latter half, we were suddenly pulled into the Russian market. Don't know why, but that just happened, but it's just because I wasn't paying attention to that sort of stuff. So now we're losing still £9,000 per week, but it's slightly better at least. I suppose the diplomatic pact, we're paying a lot to Egypt right now, and we're also paying a lot on interest. But at least we managed to get a ton of the money, so we managed to slow down. Oh, okay, another success. So we are 35% chance of passing the dedicated police force, which honestly it would be improvement. If we have a look at the modifiers in here, so that's... I think it's actually going to be a little bit less penalties from turmoil. Or, yeah, it's not quite as good for that, but minus 10% radicals from standard of living decreases, and it's not going to give the political strength to landowners, which of course is then going to allow other factions to win elections. Speaking of elections, we should be having election, or we should start the election season right around the start of the year. So now we've got over 4 million radicals, but those numbers are actually slowly dropping, so that's definitely good news. Standard of living in our nation, I mean, Oromia is actually one of the higher ones, oddly enough. How much do we have here? We don't have much in here. I suppose there is steel in the area, so maybe we'll go for that one. And then over here, the tooling workshop is getting another level already. But we could go for a steel production over there as well, or start using steel in there as well, because steel in the French market is not too bad, actually. If you look at the price for steel, it is, well, it's slightly elevated, but it's not too bad by any means. And then if we have a look at, is there anything else that we could do over here? I mean, we've got that already as is. The textile mill is already making the luxury clothing. Tooling workshop, we could maybe switch this one to use the steel as well. That's even more tools to the market. We got the sulfur mines over here, we got the well, most of the stuff as good as they can be, really. So now we're getting another government administration, which, to be fair, we probably didn't need at this stage. Dominion in Senegal. Oh, rather discovered in Senegal. Yeah, fair enough. Hold on, where's Senegal? It shouldn't be... Oh, Ashanti, right. So right there is what they're going to be doing. They're trying to make Ashanti into Dominion. Fair enough, fair enough. Oh, and suddenly we're losing more money. Suppose we're paying more stuff for certain things or something. Oh, and the industrial is one, the child labor allowed again. I'm not going to go for that one, I don't think. Is there any other good trades? I mean, let's have a look. Opium, is there good import routes for that still? I mean, the amounts aren't all that great, but maybe we can buy some from Burma. And then hardwood is... Well, there's a bit of lack for that. Let's have a look. There's good import routes for that. Dutch is Indies. Oh, right. We don't even need to... Oh, because the French... Yeah, they took the state of Siak, or Northern Sumatra over here. Well, French Northern Sumatra, so yeah, it's... they're a little bit sharing the area there, but regardless, they got a land border with Dutch East Indies, so trading with them is actually not going to take any convoys, which is definitely nice. Oh, now we're at... Oh, for a moment we were making a lot of money there. Right, I think we can do a bit more trading then. Let's have a look at engines. Is there any good engine... Ooh, Ottomans do sell a lot. Sure, that's at level 10. That's going to provide some extra taxation through the employment as well, which is definitely good news for us. Right, so we've got the government administration in Somaliland. It's currently still hiring, but should be done soon enough. In fairly good numbers, so that's going to allow us to do more trading. So we're still having a little bit of deficit, but it's not too bad by any means. And we did also inherit a lot of universities over here. 3 universities in Oromia, which honestly that's actually quite good for the innovation. So we're still working on the central banking, another 16 months remaining. Now, will we pass that backroom dealing exposed? So I'm guessing not. We got quite a bit of bureaucracy that we could afford losing right now. So it's still 26%, so there's a chance. The elections are going to happen, so we've got the Agrarian Party with the Petit Bourgeoisie. We've got a Liberal Party and Conservative Party. There's some interest groups that are not in any yet, but I think they want to be joining some parties soon enough. Yeah, that was the Conservative Party, and these two want to be Liberal Party. So I think Conservatives are probably going to win this, and we can then improve the legitimacy a little bit. I don't know how high we can get at that, but at least a little bit better. But at that point, we won't have a lot of laws to pass, unfortunately. Oh. Right, well, I suppose we can bring in the Petit Bourgeoisie. The Agrarian Party and Conservative Party combined. So that does allow us to at least try to pass some laws. We've still got a little bit of chance of passing the dedicated police force, 18%. Not a lot, mind you, but it still could pass. We're still part of the French market. And now in terms of expansion, I mean, I suppose I could... Once the infamy drops down a little bit further, I might do my own war against Ethiopia. Because I do not have a truce with them. Well, let's go back in Mauritania. Oh. But they've got a very small army at this stage. You know what? I think we can probably afford doing the war on my own. There's not a lot of nations that could join to help them. or like could get troops in there. There's basically Britain, Egypt, and me that could actually reach there. Of course, there might be some other nations that join in that will then do a landing or something, but I think we've got the troops. We're not going to get that much infamy. I mean, it's got to go to the fairly middle section there. Let's just go ahead and take this army. I'm going to be on the offensive. Oh, right, we did inherit some barracks over here, didn't we? Oh, right, and some of these are not going to be quite as good quality there. Right, well, that's my problem. Let's go ahead and increase the army size over here, first of all. And then I will put these... I know that it's not the best idea to do that during war, or while heading to a war, but I think that's still going to be okay. Mining accident. Somaliland, alright. Do we know what sort of people is mostly in there? So, in terms of professional, a lot of labor, so lower strata is not necessarily going to be all that great. Oh, cloud. Okay, landowners have a lot. Rural folk does have a lot as well. We could maybe start strengthening the rural folk then through here. So middle strata is going to become more radical, but there's not that much middle strata in there. So how much, once we win this, there's going to be almost 4 million extra citizens added into. So it's an extra third for our population here. So yeah, our population will be at least pretty decent after this. Right, so we're still working on the railway in Hedjaz, so that's going to be our capital. We don't necessarily need the infrastructure as bad over here right now, but what I do want to get is some transportation to use in the future. But once we got on Ethiopia, I think it might be time for us to start slowly building up a fleet, so that we can maybe do a landing in Marina, or to start building a lot of troops so that we can fight our independence war against Egypt. But we also need to fix our economy a little bit. It's still not great, but although once we get independence from Egypt, we're going to be making a massive amount of money just by the virtue of not having to pay them tribute. And then once we get independence from them, we can also become a unrecognized major power or something. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Right, I guess I'm not going to go past this. It's not going to have a good chance going through. How much Petit Porters is a very, very tiny interest group. They are considered influential, just barely. Oh, they've got fractional distillation unlocked. So that is going to be unlocking... Well, actually, baking powder is going to be the next one over there, which is going to be even more stuff. But let's go into the urban and food industry. So if we put this one, that is going to be another 2,000 potential income. Of course, not necessarily actually going to be that much, but, you know, it's going to be at least some. Right, and no one actually joined in on this. They've got 19 battalions. I think mine 24 will be... Okay, they got 20, but my 24 should be able to beat them quite easily. They don't have that much troops. So this should be a relatively quick war overall. We already start with a bit of a... Oh, poor visibility, but that's not good. We start with a slightly better or larger numbers in the combat from the get-go, and we got a lot of better weaponry. Both the skirmish infantry and the artillery, or mobile artillery. So that means that their troops aren't going to have... It's mostly just irregulars, isn't it? Yeah, irregulars without artillery. There we go, that's first combat. Oh wow, we took a lot of land there. I suppose they had most of their troops in that combat. And there we go, second combat. They started with 10,000 men, we started with almost 17,000. So we still have almost full troops in here. I suppose we got some battalions that were not in the combat previously. So this is going to be another easy victory. And I'm sure that they will start thinking about surrender fairly shortly. Well, maybe not that shortly, but soon enough, I reckon. They're going to be losing... Is that... Right, okay, we cleared out that. Are they trying to do a counterattack? They are. We do have a battalion there defending. Oh, wow. Yes, so we've got a battalion... One battalion defending against 23. Well, they went full strength, of course, but... Like, are we actually going to win this without a general? With just 1,000 men? No, I think we're going to lose this still, but... It's going to get really, really close. Alright then. Well, we got the troops there now. Oh, wow, yeah, there's a decent chunk there, but we're going to clear that one soon enough. So we got... We're in the Prussian market now. What? Okay, Egypt. Why did we join the Prussian market? So what do we have there? Ammunition shortage, and also I think we got 6 trade routes that we're still paying for. But I suppose it might update soon-ish. Russia damaging relation. Hold on a minute. Now we got a revolution brewing in part of the land. And now wage subsidy. Okay, yeah, they've got a lot of radicals. And I suppose we could try passing that. Maybe there won't be too many radicals. Okay, so let's have a look at the market then. Hold on a minute. If we have a look at the French market, I still got these trade routes in here. Right, so we're still paying for those. Alright then. Well, now, are we still paying for any trade routes? No. Okay, so if we have a look at the markets in here. So ironclads are very expensive. There's no silk available, so we'll have to reduce the silk, or not use the silk, basically, let's just put it that way. That's going to reduce our income quite well. GDP quite a bit, let's just say. Is there still steel available? Not... Well, I mean, technically speaking, yes. The tools are also in very high demand. What about the man of wars? Would that be... No, they're not in any sort of demand, quite frankly. Well, that was at least one thing. We're losing a lot of cash now, though. So how about I improve relations with Prussia, because they're domineering. I don't know if they want to take some of my lands or something, but I am a tributary of Egypt, so they'll have to fight Egypt as well. Although Egypt is probably not that strong. Oh, and, oh. Right, so now there's the preserved poor laws from the industrialists. Alright then. How soon can we expect them to take the peace deal? Soon. There we go, so we got into the front line there, but there's another 1 versus 24 battalions in there. I think this one we might actually win. Because they're taking casualties a lot faster than what we are. We're taking casualties, yeah, now they've got less manpower than I do, so that should be a victory. There we go, we actually managed to retake some land there. And now they are willing to take the peace deal, I reckon. There we go, so what did we inherit here? There's a lot of furniture manufacturing, first of all. Tool price is going to go up in here, locally. Not necessarily so much elsewhere. And textile mills, I suppose we're going to use the sewing machines at least. We've got a tooling workshop in here as well. So iron, I'm going to go at least to iron tools. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but we'll see. Then paper bleaching. Right, so that was the paper mill. Government administration, we can start using some more extra paper in here. Food industry. We can get some canneries in. I suppose patent... Yeah, we can go for the stills as well. Right, so that's all of those. Logging camps. We're going to start using some tools to increase the wood production quite drastically. And then, of course, the farms, we're going to do the usual stuff. We can probably go... Actually, no, the meat price over here is very low, so I'm not going to switch that one. So how bad is the infrastructure levels in here? Oh, that is pretty bad. Okay. Is there a lot of... There's a lot of livestock ranches and millet farms, that's for sure. Well, we can always... first of all, we're going to build a couple barracks. Let's make sure that we switch the troop quality there already. And then we'll build 2 railways in there. So we're still losing 17,000... Oh, right, silk... input. Do we still have a silk being used somewhere? I don't think I do. There might be some others that do. Let's use the lead crystal. I mean, we got some lead production ourselves at least. Arts Academy. We could go for the realistic art to get a little bit more fine art produced. Oh, right. We're going to use the glass over here to produce more services. Alright then. Well, we got all of Ethiopia now, but now we've got the revolution brewing from the... Okay, so that support is pretty high. Wage subsidies. So we're going to have a revolution from one side or another. This is not great. Does the... Oh wow, trade unions are still marginalized as well. Okay, so if I was to stop this one, we're going to maybe stop the revolution from brewing, although that is extreme now. But maybe we can start reducing the radical... Well, I don't know. No, it's actually going down. Oh, that's a different revolution, and they can't start their revolution until this one's... it's cooled down. Okay, so we've got a bit of breathing room, but we've got 6.4 million radicals. That is a lot. So now this one's starting to brew. Oh, right, it can't go above 80 yet. Right, so it's not going to have a revolution quite yet. But I suppose once we start reducing the radical... I mean, I'm sure that the radical numbers are going to start dropping in here slowly but surely. So now we improve relations with Prussia. I don't know if we'll be able to improve the relations sufficiently in there. Also getting a tobacco plantation in Oromia, which, to be fair, there was need... Well, actually, is there need for tobacco in here? Also, silk, is that something that I could import? I've got the bureaucracy for that. I'm gonna start importing that from the Ottomans. And yes, in that case, I will also start producing some more luxury clothing, which means at least we're gonna start at our capital. So that's gonna start slowly importing some, and then we're gonna use more and more of it, hopefully. We also got a lot of brokers. Do we have enough to start coring this one? Or incorporating that? Not really. Not really. But I suppose we do have a lot of brokers that we could use on some of these levels then. Let's see. Social security. Colonial affairs is not necessarily something we need to worry about. We could go for the law enforcement, although that would increase the landowner's political strength once again. Or we could go for the education. That's always a nice one. We'll go for that one. So it's 57% market access in Amhara. That's pretty bad overall. Boiler explosion. I could improve the trade unionist approval, although I don't know how bad is the approval. Well, we don't know. They are unhappy though, so I suppose if we do that, it might start reducing some of the radicals in here. Maybe? But like, it's just a matter of having a lot of radicals in there in general. The secession in Indonesia, alright. The French might have some problems. Oh, and Ashanti is now part of the French market, but we are part of the Prussian market due to Egypt. But the French have gotten part of Suez already. Or, well, the beginnings for Suez, I suppose. We're getting... So, actually, what are we building on the private construction? So, Arts Academy, another Arts Academy, and then a furniture manufactory. I mean, the furniture manufacturing will probably be okay. Let's have a look. Are there any things that we got plenty in here? We got a lot of tea in our market, actually. And a lot of fruits, fabrics, some clippers. Is there anywhere we could export the clippers to? Jing market, but not a lot for a good profit. What about the Man of Wars? There's not that many extras in there. Services can't be exported. Fabric, I suppose. Let's have a look. Is there any good export routes? Russian market would be pretty decent. Although, well, it's about 1,000, and I suppose it also makes a lot of the other stuff more profitable for us, so it'll probably be fine. The radicalism over here for the wage subsidies is pretty high, and it seems to be growing. Is the radicals... I think they're slowly dropping. Problem is that we don't have that many loyalists. Although those are also growing slowly. So I think it might just be a matter of time before we can fix things. We're also getting the central banking soon, which is going to start reducing the interest rates a decent chunk. Well, technically speaking, it's only 2%, but still, that will help. At least to slow down the accumulation of debt. I mean, we could have up to 50 million credit right now. We don't have quite that much. We're currently at about 5.7 million. So we could triple what we have right now and still maybe be able to pull out of there. But mostly it's just the fact that we need to pay 23,000 per week now to Egypt. And that is getting pretty tough. Oh, there we go, central banking. So we also mint more now. So that's actually more money and less money paid in interest. We could go for the baking powder, maybe. Or, let's see, in the military, what are we getting? Triage. Okay, that's not a bad one either, to be fair. Let's complete the triage so we can start getting maybe some better military stuff as well. Right, so the radicalism is a little bit on the higher rise. But at least the interest rates dropped a decent bit. Now we're still paying almost 21 or 31,000 pounds per week for interest. So it hasn't really gotten that much better, let's be honest. But we are unfortunately out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I have already also done the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.